Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever worked in an office or on a team, chances are you've crossed paths with a few jerks. Whether it's a colleague who constantly undermines you, a boss who seems out of touch, or a coworker who takes credit for your ideas, navigating toxic behaviors at work can be a real headache. In today's video, we're diving deep into Ken Bennett's Jerks at Work, where we'll unpack strategies to deal with those who make work feel like a battlefield. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's dive into how you can maintain your sanity while working with, well, jerks. Jerks at Work by Ken Bennett is a practical guide that explores the toxic personalities one can encounter in the workplace and how to deal with them effectively. Through a combination of anecdotes, psychological insight, and concrete strategies, Bennett helps readers identify and manage difficult colleagues and bosses. The book is especially useful for individuals who find themselves constantly butting heads with others in their work environment. Bennett's main premise is that dealing with difficult personalities at work is not just about surviving but thriving, and he offers a roadmap to navigating these challenges with emotional intelligence, patience, and assertiveness. From the outset, Bennett breaks down various types of jerks in the workplace, categorizing them into broad archetypes. The micromanager, for example, is someone who cannot let go of control, stifling creativity and independence in others. This type of boss often creates a toxic atmosphere by undermining their subordinates' confidence and autonomy. Then there's the blamer, who refuses to take responsibility for their mistakes and deflects fault onto others. Working with a blamer can be incredibly frustrating, as they create a culture of fear where employees are constantly looking over their shoulders to avoid being scapegoated. Bennett also addresses the credit stealer, who takes credit for the work and ideas of others to advance their own agenda. This type of jerk can be especially insidious because they often appear charming and competent, making it difficult for others to call them out without appearing petty. Bennett doesn't just identify these jerks, but he also delves into their psychological makeup, offering insights into why people act this way. He explains that many of these individuals have deep-seated insecurities or personal issues that drive their negative behaviors. The micromanager may have been raised in an environment where control was prioritized, making them fearful of letting go. The blamer might have a fragile ego that cannot handle failure, leading them to constantly deflect responsibility. Similarly, the credit stealer may have a deep need for validation and recognition, which leads them to sabotage others in their quest for acknowledgement. Understanding the root causes of these behaviors allows individuals to approach these coworkers with empathy, instead of simply labeling them as bad people. One of the key strategies Bennett recommends for dealing with difficult coworkers is improving one's communication skills. Instead of engaging in passive-aggressive behavior or confronting the jerk head-on in an emotional outburst, Bennett suggests a more measured approach. He emphasizes the importance of active listening, framing feedback in a non-confrontational way, and using "I" statements to express feelings and concerns without sounding accusatory. For instance, rather than saying, "You never listen to my ideas," a more effective approach might be, "I feel that my ideas aren't being fully considered in meetings." This subtle shift can open up a productive conversation rather than shutting it down with defensiveness. Bennett also explores the concept of boundaries in the workplace. One of the reasons jerks thrive is because their victims often fail to set clear boundaries. Without boundaries, a blamer can continue to avoid accountability, and a credit stealer can take more than their fair share of the limelight. Bennett teaches readers how to recognize when their boundaries are being violated and how to assert them firmly but respectfully. Setting boundaries not only protects personal well-being but also helps in maintaining professional relationships. If a micromanager, for example, is constantly breathing down your neck, asserting a boundary by saying something like, "I work best when I have the autonomy to complete tasks my way," can help shift the power dynamics and reduce tension. While many self-help books focus on individual change, Bennett makes it clear that organizational change is just as important. He talks about how managers and leaders can cultivate a healthy work environment by recognizing and addressing toxic behavior early on. He provides strategies for leaders to identify which jerks are undermining the team's morale and productivity, offering actionable steps for managing and mitigating these behaviors. Leadership is key in setting the tone for workplace culture, and Bennett stresses that organizations should prioritize emotional intelligence and interpersonal respect when hiring and training their employees. Another major theme Bennett explores is the impact of workplace toxicity on mental health. Chronic exposure to jerks can lead to burnout, anxiety, and depression, all of which can affect job performance and overall well-being. Bennett addresses how employees can protect their mental health by recognizing the signs of toxic behavior and seeking support from HR or trusted colleagues. He advocates for self-care practices and suggests creating a support system, either inside or outside the workplace, to help cope with the emotional toll of dealing with jerks. One particularly insightful part of the book is where Bennett talks about the narcissistic jerk. He describes this type of coworker as someone who not only lacks empathy but often actively seeks to exploit others for their personal gain. These individuals can be extremely challenging to work with, as they often disguise their self-centeredness with charm or manipulative tactics. Bennett offers specific tactics for managing narcissistic behavior, including maintaining emotional distance, not taking their actions personally, and using logic and facts when engaging with them. He also advises that, in some cases, detachment is the best strategy, especially when dealing with someone whose behavior is unlikely to change. Bennett doesn't sugarcoat the fact that dealing with jerks can be exhausting, and he acknowledges that it's not always possible to change the behavior of others. However, he encourages readers to focus on what is within their control, their responses, actions, and attitudes. One of the most powerful tools he suggests is adopting a mindset of resilience, which involves accepting that difficult situations will arise but choosing not to let them negatively impact one's sense of self or work ethic. Bennett stresses that it's important not to internalize toxic behavior but rather to stay focused on personal goals and professional growth. At the end of the book, Bennett highlights the importance of fostering a positive workplace culture where collaboration, respect, and kindness are valued. While he acknowledges that it's impossible to eliminate jerks entirely, he stresses that it's essential to create an environment where toxic behaviors are not tolerated and where people are encouraged to treat one another with dignity. He urges both individuals and leaders to be proactive in shaping a culture that promotes understanding, teamwork, and mutual support. By addressing toxic behavior head-on and cultivating emotional intelligence, it's possible to create a more harmonious and productive work environment for everyone. In summary, Jerks at Work offers a comprehensive and thoughtful exploration of how to manage toxic personalities in the workplace. With a mix of psychological insights, practical advice, and strategies for personal growth, Bennett's book provides valuable tools for anyone looking to thrive in a challenging work environment. Whether you're dealing with a difficult boss, a manipulative coworker, or a team full of blamers and credit stealers, this book helps you navigate these obstacles with confidence and emotional intelligence. By learning to manage difficult personalities effectively, you can not only protect your own well-being but also contribute to a healthier, more productive work culture.